do we need to strengthen European activities on the future internet, and how we can achieve this?
Future Internet as such is, as you know, a program in European Commission. So throughout last 10 years, we have funded research and innovation activities through the European Union funding program. It was in the past 6th or 7th framework program. Now it will be in Horizon 2020. So we have a funding instrument for funding research and innovation in this specific domain on the European Union level. At the same time, what we are trying to do is coordinate activities both in respect of funding as well as policy with European Union member states, but also with industry. So we have established what we call a public-private partnership between the European Union and the European industry in the domain of future internet. Of course, as you're indicating, one of the major challenges is how to connect this public-private partnership with specific policies of the member states. And this is what we are doing already throughout last 5-6 years. I think we are in a stage where we have quite achieved a lot. It means that we have a very flourishing, very dynamic community of researchers and businesses who are working in this specific domain. So one way or the other, I think the track record of what we did in the past is very good. Of course, now it's a right time to address the future challenges. So one of the very important things which you have to look is what are the future challenges and how we are going to look at them. So if you allow me, for example, the challenge is how to translate this wealth of knowledge which exists in the EU in EU research organizations, universities, institutes, how to translate that knowledge in concrete products and services. And this is exactly what we are trying to do right now in what we call the third phase of Future Internet PPP. Third phase is exactly about that. So what we are trying to do now is we will be asking specific research and innovation organizations to engage with, we hope, thousands of SMEs to develop products and services in all different domains, ranging from, I don't know, health to agriculture to sustainable transport, and develop real products and real services which will address the challenges of European Union and concrete businesses. So I think through that we are translating that knowledge to concrete results which would help us build growth and jobs in European Union.
Now, we have the digital agenda in the European Union. We have this new Horizon 2020 program, the needs of states and the public and the private sector. All these things, how do they work together?
Yes, look, the digital agenda, as adopted already in 2010, very clearly spelled out what are the challenges. And we also put on paper a list of 100 actions. So it was, if you want, a very detailed program about what needs to be done, both in respect of the, I don't know, regulation, to research and innovation, through security and so on. Now what has happened, is that in a number of those domains we have achieved huge progress. In some domains the progress is not as good as we would like to have. But, we have here very clear examples of how all these things and the digital agenda umbrella are brought together. For example, if you want to have a successful, e-health application, you need to have people who will have the skills, people who will, so you have to have engineers to develop this kind of approaches. You have to have also people who are working in the domain of health who have specific ICT skills. So they will be aware and know how to use these kind of solutions. You have to have also specific applications. You have to have hardware. You have to have secure dimension, meaning that there will be no breach of confidentiality of the personal data. At the same time, you have to have, if you want, substantial capabilities for transferring information through broadband in most effective and efficient way. So you know, on concrete solutions, you have to have all these elements together if you want the end solution to function properly together. So digital agenda actually is an attempt to put all these things together in such a way that we could prosper, the entire society could prosper from the benefits of the digital society. Of course, now for us, for the policymakers, the challenge will be how to see what has happened up to now, how to identify areas where we have achieved a lot of progress, and how also to identify the areas where additional progress needs to be done. So I think in this respect, the conference which we are having right now here today in Athens is a very important one, because as I said, we'll have concrete results. We'll continue growing the community, working on future internet, which is, as I said, not something which would be addressing just the high-tech companies. It's really addressing concrete problems of everyday citizens and even SMEs, not even the high-tech SMEs, but SMEs working on providing concrete services to citizens. And I think through that also we hope we will prepare or contribute in preparing the new digital agenda for Europe, which will come with, of course, with the next Commission.
And Europe, through all this, tries to increase its competitiveness. Where it stands internationally?
I think in some domains, Europe is still in the cutting edge. Yeah? I mean, if you look at the major network providers, yeah, so the IT companies working for telephone companies, Europe is still in the cutting edge. So if a company wants to develop a new network anywhere in the world, and if they want to have the best solutions, they go to the European companies. This is great. In some areas, we are lagging behind. So for us, of course, it's important to identify the areas where we can still contribute to the growth in European Union. Then, of course, there are new areas which are surfacing in this domain. For example, one of the big issues now is the big data. Yeah? So everyone is talking about big data. One of the major questions for us, for Europe, is, did we miss the train for the big data? And I don't think that's the case now. So I think still, despite there is a huge progress in the domain of big data in a number, for example, in the United States, there are still areas where European Union and European companies can develop businesses and actually have growth in this domain as well.